Hey there, Laura here. Welcome to the Sherry Top and Dress Sew Along Day 1, sponsored by Stitch and Pretty Fabrics. I will link their website in the description box below so that you can check it out. I will also link the Sherry Top and Dress pattern in the description box and in the blog post so that you can get your hands on it if you need to. So anyway, today we're printing. We are taping together. We are cutting our pattern and cutting our fabric. It's a big job. Let's get it done. All right, here we are. We've got our pattern. We are ready to get it assembled. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. I'm just going to get you started and then you can finish it out. I'll place links to our sewing schools that show how to print and how to assemble the pattern. That way you can do that on your own. One of the things to remember is that each pattern has a print guide, so you only need to print what you need. So if you just need the top or you need the short sleeve or whatever, it's got those those page numbers in a table to show you where they are, which page each thing is on, and you can print according to your needs. Okay, so here we are. I've got my pattern pieces cut out. I've got the front and the back. I've got the neckband, whoops, and I've got the sleeve. If you're not adding the sleeve here, you are going to cut out these drop sleeve facing. So you'll have that piece instead of this piece. Now, one of the things that we need to look at is before you cut out any of your fabric, you're going to want to make sure that you make all the typical adjustments that you normally make. If you make length adjustments, if you make shoulder adjustments, sleeve adjustments, whatever, if you make those adjustments normally, you're going to want to do that first. Go ahead and do what you would normally do on your muslin, and then once you've finished your muslin, you can decide if any other adjustments need to be made in addition to what you did. Okay, so now, we've got a couple different, let's just look at the front bodice here. This is a really unusual looking bodice piece. Don't worry, it will turn out just fine. Oh, one little note I wanted to make. I went ahead and cut everything out because this pattern, because of the way this is set up and has to be done, the pattern as you put it together, it just seems enormous. So like I think the women's pattern has 50 some pages. Like it's a beast. I'm not gonna lie, it's a beast. The kids has 33 pages depending on, you know, the options you choose and what have you. So it just feels really big, and my table isn't big enough to put the whole thing together. So I had to move onto the floor, and I didn't want to bring my camera over to the floor. So don't be afraid to do that. Find the space that works for this pattern. It isn't always this way. This is just a unique style, so it means it's unique pattern pieces as well. So we have the front and back pieces here. They're shaped a little funky, but you've got this as the tie. So it's gonna come together a little bit differently and kind of move it all. So don't be afraid of it when you see it looking like you're like, man, that looks a little weird. Yeah, it does. It's okay. Don't worry. So what you've got is you've got two lengthen and shorten lines on both the front bodice and the back bodice. Take a close look at the tutorial, and Rochelle, who designed this pattern, she has instructions on how to lengthen and to shorten it. So take a good look at that, and if you have any questions, let us know. I can try to help you as best I can, and we can also pull Rochelle in. I know that she will be thrilled to help you with any questions you might have. So, said all that, it's time for me, because I'm not making any changes at the moment. If you've never made this pattern before, it is highly advised to make a muslin so that you can assess what changes might need to be made. So I'm going to make this one for my daughter, and I am ready to get moving. So I have this beautiful fabric from Stitch and Pretty's, our sponsor. It is lovely navy with white flowers. It's beautiful. I love the simplicity of it. Yeah, I love the whole thing. It's a double brush poly, which makes it really great for this pattern. And yeah, so let's get started. Now, all right, I'm just doing one layer here. I'm not folding it. For any reason, the pattern piece isn't on the fold or anything, and we're just cutting one. So it's just one layer. Get this all situated here. Now again, I think I've said this in past sew-alongs, don't let your fabric fall onto the floor and leave it. You don't want it to stretch and pull your fabric and then you get uneven cuts. Okay, so I'm going to get this looking as decent as we can. All right, here we go. So isn't that a pretty fabric? Oh, it's so beautiful. All right, so we're gonna start. Take a close look at your fabric. If you're doing a solid, this is not an issue for you. If you're doing anything with a pattern, you're gonna wanna pay close attention to which direction the pattern goes. Some of them go one way, some of them go the other, some of them go all the way, some of them it doesn't matter. This is one of those that it doesn't matter. You can see some of the flowers are looking this way, some of them are kind of looking this way, and it works okay. So, I'm gonna put this right here. Hopefully you can see it. Bring it down just a wee bit. I want you to be able to see the whole thing. Okay, so here we are. Let me grab my pattern weights and we can move this along. Now what we can do is I can pull this down just a couple of inches, the pattern piece itself, give myself some room for the neckband, which is here. You're going to want to pay close attention to the stretch lines. The stretch is here, the grain is here. So don't, even though you see like it feels like it's a little wonky and you want to maybe do it like this, no, follow the stretch. The stretch should be straight along, straight this way, along the stretch. Okay, bring that down just a tad. And now we've got our neckband piece. It also has the stretch marked, and you only need one of those. So I'm actually going to put this, I don't know how well you can see it, I think it's off the edge of the camera, but I'm putting it at the edge of the fabric because it's fabric, because it's a nice straight edge. All right, and hopefully we'll be good to go and I will be able to speak better as time goes by. All right, let's see if I can find some more of my weights. Here we go. All right, now this is the way we're placing this. Just make sure everything is flat and looking good and all the arrows are where they're supposed to be, and we can now cut this out. Now you're going to pay special attention to this little area because you want to get all the way to this edge here, or that corner I should say. All right, let's cut out our front bodice piece. The important thing here is to place your pattern piece exactly the same way as you placed your back pattern piece or your front, whichever one you did first. You don't want to turn the pattern piece upside down or anything like that. You want it to be the same, otherwise it won't work properly. Okay, so here we are. Again, this is just one layer of fabric. It's not two layers. We're not doing what's the word? We're not cutting two mirror images. We're just cutting one front and one back. So it's just one layer of fabric. So I'm actually going to scoot this over a little bit, trying not to waste fabric here, which is always a challenge. So I'm going to come over as far as I can this way. Make sure you're paying close attention to your stretch and your grain markings. All right, here we are. I'm going to pull the fabric over this way so you can see a little bit better. There we go. All right, I think you can see it there. All right, now the only thing we have left to cut it now are the sleeves. All right, so here we are. We've got our sleeve piece. Oops, we've got our sleeve piece. We just have to decide, do we want a a long sleeve or a 3/4. I think I want to do a 3/4, so I'm going to cut this. I was undecided at first, but I think I like the 3/4. All right. So now remember, if you're not doing the sleeve option, you're going to use the sleeve facing piece. So you'll need 2 of those instead of this piece. Okay, now let's put the rest of our fabric to the side. We've got enough fabric to make something else. Maybe I'll make another one of these. Now we have cut everything out. We are ready to start sewing, which means we're ready to move on to day 2.